GTCA Board of Directors meeting for Thursday, July the 20th. First order of business is Richie, you want to start with that?
Hi, Rich Delafuente, Director at Large.
Justin Mack, Director at Large.
John Hay, Legal Counsel.
Sonina Poplar, Tower 2.
Wade Russell, Howard 3, President.
Richard Vasquez, Director, Tower 3.
Richard Miller, Director, Tower 1.
Joe Purcell, Director, Tower 1.
Michael Cricco, Director.
Did you vote not on the board, but on management?
Do you want to introduce yourselves as board managers, or they know who?
Dorothy Wozniak, GM. Mary Veal, Executive Assistant to the General Manager. Sharon Harrison, Spa Manager.
Richard Sorrenti, the Facility Manager.
Marta Gonzalez, Customer Service Manager.
It's not working very much.
I don't think that microphone's working.
Anyway, it's not.
Look for you.
Hey guys, I think you need to adjust it in the back.
The microphone on the management table is not working.
Need a microphone?
Good, right?
Did everyone hear, or is somebody missing something, or? Okay. So unless there's any questions on that, we're going to move on. So the first order of business is approval of the open meeting minutes for the May the 18th, 2017.
I make a motion to approve the open board minutes for May 18, 2017.
I second.
The motion's been made and seconded to approve the open board meetings from May 18th. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimous. Next is the report and remarks. So the first are the President's remarks, and I'll be very brief. I just want to welcome everyone. Thank you guys for taking time to come out. The board's been very busy. We have a lot of agenda items tonight. There are also a lot of other items that need to be addressed moving forward. You're going to see we have some pretty significant things to discuss. We're going to discuss again tonight the ADA regulations and implementation into the garage and all the steps that have gone into that. We're still probably 60 days plus out. We're not going to address the specifics of the AR tonight because we haven't had enough time to thoroughly go through it. There were several items on the agenda, as you all saw, and we'll go through those one by one. Again, I'm always available if you have questions on the side, but I think it's important that we had a great success last month with the with the town hall meeting and the participation of owners. That's something we want to continue, and in the next few weeks, I will put out an announcement of the next gathering that we're going to have and the next topics, because I felt it was very informational, and we gathered a lot of information from owners who don't normally get to participate. So I thank you, everyone who showed up and did that, and I hope you'll continue to support us in our next endeavor on that. So the next item of business tonight is the manager's report, and the general manager will now present her report. Oh, I'm sorry, Dorothy, I skipped the agenda. The treasurer's report.
Hi everyone, my name is Tommy Fierro and I'll be presenting.
Tommy, that's still not working. You want to use this one?
Well, I think you need to, in the back. There's a switch in the back. I think that's why they don't work.
Is that one?
No, it doesn't work.
Hi everyone, my name is Tommy Fierro and I'll be presenting the controller's report this evening. As of June 30th, the total cash in the bank accounts is approximately $8 million, comprised of 5.3 in the R&R accounts and $1.7 in the escrow accounts. There's also $700,000 in the depository account and $200,000 in the operating account. Total cash available as of June 30th represents an increase of approximately $70,000 compared to the end of May 31st. As for accounts receivable, as of June 30th, was approximately $3.4 million, which reflects $3.3 million in legal, $30,000 on payment plans, $50,000 that are 1 month owed, $3,000 2 months owed, and $400 over 60 days. Next is the accounts payable, which was approximately $835,000 as of June 30th. That consists of $615,000, 0 to 30 days, $61,000, 31 to 60 days, $101,000 of 61 to 90 days, and $56,000 over 90 days. During June, we had $345,000 in payments made through Condo Cafe. As of July 20th, there were 659 owner occupants and 416 absentee owners. Of the 416 absentee owners, 384 are occupied by tenants. Units occupied by tenants represent approximately 36% of the total Galaxy units. The monthly financial package was posted on Condo Cafe this afternoon and is available for anyone to review. Unless there are any questions, that concludes the control report this evening.
No, are there any questions?
Thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the manager's report.
Good evening. I apologize, but we're having some technical difficulties. I was going to show you some graphics, but we will be able to get the projector to work. Good evening, Mr. President, directors of the board and Galaxy community. It is my pleasure to provide the management report for the month of July. The first item is security and enforcement of the rules. Incident reporting has indicated a rise in property vandalism. In July 2017, reports were filed in reference to water bottles, water balloons, full cans of produce, as well as lit cigarettes being tossed from buildings at high altitudes and endangering our community at large. Due to an increase in acts of malicious vandalism, the GTCA security team has been working in conjunction with management and GPD. New procedures to facilitate uniformity and consistency in reporting criminal mischief and property losses due to vandalism and thefts, as well as rules and law enforcement are being developed. Vandalism, theft, or inappropriate behavior towards other residents or staff is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. The Galaxy is a home to 3,000 residents who have the right to enjoy the community and feel safe. Management urges all residents to report any incidents to security and management. As they say, if you see something, say something. So I decided to put the graphic up, so you will be actually able to see how many incidents your security team addressed just in 1 month. And as you can see, there were 62 incidents ranging from fire emergencies to resident complaints, 34 parking garage vehicle violations, 2 violations for fireworks being used on the 4th of July, 255 service level requests, 10 noise complaints, 15 hallway violations, and 5 suspensions of spa privileges have been issued by management. New technology has been implemented to help GTCA security investigate, monitor, and record any violations or crime. SciCap is a web and GPS-based technology utilized to build an advanced patrol and reporting program that transfers the traditional reporting process into a paperless, real-time solution. The Galaxy security team now uses both the web portal as well as Android smart devices, such as Samsung Galaxy S7 and 2 Asus ZenPads. So if you guys see security walking with iPads, they're not playing, they actually communicate with us in real time, filing reports. Departmental managers now receive the latest accurate data about any security-related incident, as well as have access to the tools to help manage incidents and tour findings, SICAP. SICAP also reports on physical security movement using GPS technology, collects pertinent reporting information, and efficiently delivers this information to the appropriate recipients. Provides actionable data to support the overall value of the security program by providing an analysis of security activity at the GTCA. Provides Allied Universal Management staff with the tools needed to further evaluate GTA security program, enhances the safety and security of GTCA by ensuring patrol operations consistently adhere to security post orders. To improve safety in the parking garage, a new LiDAR speed detection gun was purchased. Powered by the Pro Laser 4 for superior performance, Laser Cam 4 offers greater range to target faster acquisition time and an image resolution of plates at longer distances, providing a comprehensive video record of speed enforcement and target tracking history. And I also put 2 more graphs to kind of show you what kind of, I don't want to call them price valuations, we've identified this past month and when they usually occur. The next item is hallway redecorating project. The hallway redecorating project continues on schedule with 88 floors completed throughout all 3 towers. The project is on target for final completion in November of this year with 67% completed. All apartment doors will receive a new custom faceplate, backplate, peephole viewer, and a wireless doorbell with 2 plug-in receivers. This will begin to be installed in September and will be done in several phases. More information will follow when a confirmed date has been established. Interior signage will begin to be installed next week of Monday, August 21st, starting on the newly renovated floors. Management will continue to work to expedite the installation of all signage. Management is pleased to announce the redecorating of the spa is substantially complete. GTCA and management would like to thank all residents for the patience during this period. Residents can enjoy the transformed appearance with newly painted ceiling tiles, walls, handrails, and a unique carpet pattern only seen at the Galaxy. The next item is garage reconstruction project. The garage reconstruction project is slightly behind schedule with an anticipated completion in September. Currently, the contractor is finalizing all open punch list items. Once the repair work is complete, the contractor will proceed with the installation of the traffic coating membrane. Originally, that work has been scheduled for July 24th, but it will be rescheduled for August. New work schedule will be posted in the weekly update. I know that you really like pictures of your new boilers we posted last time. So having said that, our next item is boiler and domestic hot water system project. Installation of the new boiler and hot water system project continues on time. The new boiler was delivered in pieces and assembled on site. As there is no practical way to get 100 horsepower boilers through 36-inch door and down to a flight of steps, the new boilers must be built on site. The first boiler will be completed and in operation in July, the second in September, and all heat exchangers, new piping, insulation, and supporting equipment in place for project closeout in October. So current project status overview. The original boiler number 1 is fully demolished and carted away. That's been done on schedule. New boiler number 1 is 99% installed. That's also on schedule. Boiler room condensate receiver and blow-down tanks installed ahead of schedule. Booster pumps for tower 1, 2, and 3 fully installed and operational ahead of schedule. All heat exchangers received and in preparation for installation, also on schedule. We have some upcoming milestones. So 3-week outlook is 1-day steam shutdown across the entire complex to connect new boiler number 1 to chimney and prepare future chimney connection for new boiler number 2, startup of the new boiler number 1, demolition of boiler number 2, and also delivery of new heat exchangers to site. That's all is going to happen the next 3 weeks. Okay. Sorry. Facility operations. The maintenance team has been busy this month assisting the boiler contractor with 3 major water drain downs in all 3 towers as necessary to install new water pumps for the intermediate and high zones. The restoration team started this month and proceeded with a long list of projects, including painting of the connecting stairwells in building 4 and 5, curb lines in the plaza and spa lounge. Housekeeping completed the deep cleaning of the spa, indoor pool deck, lockers and gym, as well as power washing of the plaza and Boulevard East sidewalks. The purchasing department recently started utilizing a new feature of the accounting software to have a better understanding of the parts purchased and used by the maintenance department. The system allows the cost of inventory to be tracked based on the purchase orders entered into the system to assist with yearly budget projections. It allows the purchasing agent to restock items in a timely manner, as the real-time alerts are sent when products are low. The software will also allow extensive reporting and allow the purchasing agent to view all costs of materials in one place. This will allow for cost comparison and competitive vendor bidding on certain items the GTCA purchases. Employee spotlight. In effort to recognize the employees that go above and beyond or for providing extra assistance to a resident in need, we have included a new section in weekly update called Employee Spotlight. This month, I would like to thank Marta Gonzalez for going beyond and above. A long-time elderly female resident who was experiencing signs of total disorientation and dementia was in need of assistance, as she was in the process of being evicted. The resident had no family or emergency contacts available. Customer Service Manager Marta Gonzalez reached out to GPD and was provided with contact information for Hudson County Protective Services. Marta contacted the agency, spent several hours coordinating arrangements to be made in an effort for a caseworker to be assigned, visit and assist the resident. Thankfully, HCPS accepted the case and coordinated for the resident to be transported to a hospital for doctor's evaluation, so that she could be placed in a safe environment rather than being left out in the street. Board items. Management has prepared 4 recommendations for your consideration and approval this evening. The first one would be replacement of the existing condenser unit located on the 16th floor garage level. Staff seek authorization to replace, and this actually was already voted on, so it will be ratified. Staff seeks authorization to replace the existing condenser unit located on the 16th floor garage level with the new unit, which consists of the 2 compressors, new controls, new expansion valves and coil, and the newest refrigerant R410A. All lines will be flushed with R11 and new package unit installed. Staff seeks authorization to award the contract to company called 454 Mechanical. The existing condenser unit is a 15-ton condenser coil multi-stage with controls installed over 20 years ago. The existing unit has exceeded its useful life expectancy and ongoing repairs are cost prohibitive. The refrigerant used in R20, which is no longer manufactured, one of the 2 compressors is shorted to grounds, meaning they're burnt out. Recent repairs were unsuccessful, which resulted in no air conditioning in the management's office. The second would be new temporary barbecue located within the North Lawn. As directed by the Board of Directors, staff seeks authorization to open a new temporary barbecue area within the North Lawn for residents to enjoy in the summertime. The North Lawn has been modified to allow for barbecuing to take place, weather permitting. The benches have been painted, adding a more visually appealing look. They've also been relocated, allowing for more space and privacy in between families while on premises. In order for the new barbecue area to be a success, the following rules have been implemented. And the rules actually have been distributed in part of the motion. Number 3, employee picnic. Staff seeks authorization to conduct an employee picnic to acknowledge staff for their hard work and dedication within the organization. The picnic will be held on Saturday, August 12, between the hours of 1 and 5. We welcome all employees and their immediate families to the event, which will take place in the South Lawn and the mini park. The South Lawn will be utilized as a barbecue area with DJ, food, catering, and drinks. The mini park will be utilized for kids and includes attractions, bouncy houses, fake painting, carnival games, and music. There will be approximately 300 to 300 people in total attending the event. Due to the magnitude of this event, both the South Lawn and mini park will be closed to residents between the hours of 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. while the employee picnic is in progress. This event would mark the first ever employee picnic at the Galaxy Towers, conducted for employees and their families to attend. This special occasion is meant to be a celebration for staff in recognition of all the hard work and dedication they provide each and every day. It is important for employees to know that the roles play a vital key in the success of our organization. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Are there any questions? Justin, did you have something?
No, I just wanted to reflect. Dorothy, I think you're doing a great job. That was an unbelievable report, and you really slipped right into that general manager's role very well. Thank you, Dorothy.
Thanks.
I second that.
Anyone else have anything for the manager? If not, we'll move on to the next item. The next first item is unfinished business, and it is item 4.1, which is the ADA compliant garage.
I make a motion to authorize revision of policy resolution number 7 to address reserved parking, ADA compliance, and overall parking plan.
The motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion before we take a vote. I'd like to. This vote tonight is not a change to the AR. It's for us to continue and continue the conversation about the compliances. We gathered a lot of information from the owners during the town hall meeting. There's some significant changes that we are going to be. Right now, the board direction on this is to make. So let me give you the recommendations that we've agreed to thus far. First is part of the compliance, which is placing the ADA parking spaces closest to the building's entrances as required by the federal regulations. Also to reallocate all reserved spaces on each garage level and increase a number of reserved spots to provide prorated number of spots to 300 from currently 150. What that would allow is everyone currently on the waiting list for reserved spots would have reserved parking available. We also have agreed to consolidate those and appropriate them per floor, per tower, so each tower would have access to 100 spots. Taking into account that Tower 1 does not have access to every floor, the number of spots would still be proportionate per tower that would have reserved spots accessible per tower. So equally distribute the spots to 100 spots per tower. Assign reserved spots to continuous spots in designated areas on each floor. So some people will be affected. There were several people in the meeting who said that it was hard to tell where the reserved spots were. They were driving through the garage and they thought the spot was empty, and they'd go around only to find it was reserved in another line. So we're going to do some consolidation of that and make reserved spots in certain sections, so you'll know that each side of you is a reserved spot as well. That was some of the concern that if you had a reserved spot, your neighbor banged your door, you would know who it was because it was a reserved spot all the time as well. So we're going to reserve that as of now. Residents with existing reserved spots in locations where new reserved spots are proposed will not need to reallocate. So in order to, the initial was to reallocate everybody and reassign everybody. We took a reserve and we did it again. So if you're sitting in a spot currently that's reserved and it's still a reserve spot under the new rules, you will not be reassigned or moved. So only those who are in a reserve spot that now is either in the middle of an aisle or, you know, off to the side or not in a continuous spot, those will be reallocated. And those who unfortunately are going to have to forfeit their spots in order to accommodate the handicap spots, those people will be reassigned. We're also going to have a priority based on longevity, so those people who have their spot the longest will have the first choice of available spots. We'll move through the list, and then we'll get to all of those who have been on the waiting list for years are now going to have reserved spots available. We anticipate this change taking another 2 months. We have to read it next month. This is not the formal reading with all the changes in place. That'll still allow 30 days after that for comment before it's actually put into place with the new striping and all the new zoning done in the garage. So I'm sorry, that was, I think that's pretty much covers where we're at right now with the change. There's some graphics. They're going to change a little bit, but I don't know if you have one of those, Dorothy.
I have 3 different examples.
Okay, so this is a good example. So you can see that the red spots are where the reserved spots will be, so they're consolidated around the area. The open parking is all in the middle now, and the handicap spots are where they need to be, which are right by the door. So that's an example of them. They're all pretty much laid out that way. There are certain floors that have more reserved spots on them, but those are floors that have more available parking. The floors that have less available parking, some of our lower floors are not as large as the upper floors, so those have less spots available. You'll see these don't have as many available parking, so there's less reserved spots allocated to those floors. This is really a graphic. It could change slightly, but net spaces, are 1145. In Tower 1, 2, and 3, you will see that each one of them have 100 reserved spots allocated and available. That's based on some data that we collected, which right now, there's currently somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 each per tower that's currently have reserved spots. So taking that and equating it over the number of people on the waiting list, which is about 140 in the 100 and low 40s, so 150 additional spots will give everyone who has been waiting for a reserved spot to be able to come off the list. So it's about 60 days away, but it's coming. So I don't think I have anything else. If anybody else had anything they wanted to offer on that.
As much as I would like to accommodate residents that they want the reserved spot, I'm concerned about the residents of Tower 1 that they only have access to the garage from 16th floor to 11th floor. And I brought it up in the meeting that what would happen to those residents that they might not find any parking in those floors if we allocate more reserved spots. And then they end up to park in other floors, and in order to get to Tower 1, they have to go, in the garage, which I personally don't think is quite safe, especially at night, because of some residents that they're speeding in the garage. So we discussed that, and we decided that we give it a try for 90 days to see that if the residents of Tower 1, that they don't have reserved spot, if there is a lot of inconvenience for them, then again we are going to revisit that.
And I did want, yes, we are going to review this in 90 days. I wanted to, and I also want to remind everyone that there was an announcement that went out on the weekly update, and there was a reminder that went out. We are very sensitive to residents who have special needs. So there is a form that you can file with the office that if you are elderly or have special needs but not necessarily handicap parking, please contact Marty Gonzalez. She'll be glad to give you the form. Remember to fill those out. We still have 60 days. We definitely want to take all of those into account. So again, if whatever your need is, if you think it deserves special attention, please contact Marta. She'll be glad to get you the form and file it out so that we can consider that when we're doing our allocation of parking spots as well. Yes, Richard.
Question. I'm not sure we discussed this distinction. The people that will have to move because they're in reserve spots now that are not in the future designated reserved areas, will they likewise be given their choice based on longevity as the people being moved for ADA reasons?
If I wasn't clear, I try to be as clear as I can. The discussion is, to the best of my knowledge, is all people who are being reallocated would go into the same rules and the same longevity and seniority. So everyone who's affected that's moved will be dealt with the same seniority. Did that make sense? Okay.
Just wasn't clear.
Sorry. Anything else?
I just wanted to let the homeowners know that the board has been working very hard on this, and we've spent a lot of hours and a lot of discussions. We know it's a very sensitive area. I mean, we're relocating a lot of people, and we don't want to make it harder than it is, and we try to make it as streamlined as possible. And I believe that this, at the point that we are now, really is the best solution. And the proof is that we've spent a lot of time, the whole board, and I applaud the whole board for taking the time for the homeowners.
Thank you. We have spent a lot of time, and I also would like to reiterate that the town hall meeting did change a lot of decisions that had been previously assumed or taken into account. So a lot of what was heard, we did make some alterations, some pretty significant alterations to these changes since that meeting. So I do want you to know that you were heard, and we want to continue that trend. We want to continue to get your input on things and bring things. So we did make several changes, and we went back to several meetings before we came to where we are now. This is not final, but we pretty much come to a consensus. This is where we want to go to move forward. So did anyone else have anything? Okay, so then, sorry? No, we're good. Do you want to call a question? We just finished the discussion. We made the motion in a second, so now we're going to call for the vote. Okay. So remember, the vote we're taking tonight is just allowing us to look at it with these guidelines. These are not the final AR. So all we're doing now is making a motion that we are going to bring it back to the table to vote. So the motion was made and seconded. All those in favor say aye or raise your hand. Aye. All those opposed? It's unanimous. The motion passed. So next we're going to move on to new business. First item on new business is item 5.1, temporary allowed barbecue in the North Lawn.
Motion to approve temporarily approve barbecuing located within the North Lawn for residents to enjoy for the summertime. Barbecue rules on the lawn. Hours of the barbecue area is open for grilling will be Friday, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday and Sundays, 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. All grilling must be complete, and grills must be clean no later than 9 p.m. Barbecuing is only permitted in designated areas. Maximum number of persons per resident party is 10. Barbecue area can only be accessed from Tower 3 S-level hallway. All residents must check in and sign up at the Tower 3 front desk before access is permitted. Grill use is on a first-come, first-served basis. If others are waiting, you will be asked to limit grill use to 90 minutes, maximum per resident party. Open fires, ground fires, and propane use is strictly prohibited. Only provided charcoal grills are allowed, no personal grills are permitted. For residents with food sensitivities, personal grates will be allowed. Time limit is 3 hours, maximum per resident. Do not move grills or picnic tables. No tents, canopies, or umbrellas are permitted. Playing music is prohibited. Pets are prohibited in the area. Starter fluids and flammable liquids must be secured and are the responsibility of the residents to keep safe and out of reach of children. When you have finished grilling, let the cools completely cool before disposing of them in the metal container provided. Dumping of hot coal, any ashes, and any other receptacle is prohibited. The area must be left as you found it. All personal items must be removed when you leave. No food, guests, or personal properties allowed in the spa areas. Failure to comply to the above rules will result in the loss of use of the grill area. A $100 penalty may be imposed for damages or not cleaning up.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made and seconded. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? One opposition. Motion carried. This is a temporary order, and again, we're going to temporarily allow it. If it becomes problematic, we'll revisit it, but for now, it's temporary.
Motion to approve the first reading of the amended policy resolution number 15, passive recreation areas as follows. The Galaxy Towers Condominium Association Policy Resolution number 15, use of common elements, passive recreation areas. Whereas paragraph 9, first paragraph F of the master deed grants to every unit owner, his successor, and assigns a perpetual and non-exclusive easement for the use of common facilities located within the common elements, subject to the right of the board of directors to promulgate rules and regulations for the use and enjoyment of the common facilities. And whereas Article 4, Section 1 of the bylaw states the property, affairs, and businesses of the association shall be managed by the board of directors, which shall have all those powers granted to it by the articles of incorporation, the master deed, the bylaws, and the bylaw. Whereas Article 5, Section 1F of the bylaws empowers the board to adopt, amend, and publish rules and regulations covering the details of the operation and the use of common elements. And whereas on July 26, 1983, the board adopted policy resolution number 15, establishing the rules and regulations for the use of common elements known as the mini park. And whereas the board amended policy resolution number 15 on August 20, 2015 to extend the rules and regulations applicable to the mini park to the common elements known as the 20th floor tower bridges. And whereas the mini park and tower bridges are hereinafter collectively referred to as the passive recreation areas. And whereas the board now wishes to amend policy resolution number 15 to update and expand the rules and regulations applicable to the passive recreation areas. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the board hereby amends the policy resolution number 15, adopting rules and regulations for the use of the passive recreation areas as follows. Number 1, pets are not permitted in the passive recreation area at any time. Number 2, radios, televisions, and tape players are not permitted in the passive recreation area. Additionally, personal electronic devices utilized in the passive recreation areas, such as cell phones, tablets, and laptop computers utilized to play transmitted or recorded materials for business, entertainment, or personal communications shall be muted so that sound is not audible to the other persons in the passive recreation areas. Horseplay and ball playing are not permitted in the passive recreation areas. Participation in active games or sports of any kind by residents under the age of 12 shall not be permitted in the passive recreation areas unless supervised by a person of at least 18 years of age. The use of loud, boisterous, obscene, or offensive language or objectionable behavior is not permitted in the passive recreation areas. Number 5, residents under the age of 12 years of age must be supervised or accompanied by a person of at least 18 years of age when in the passive recreation areas. Number 6, there shall be no sunbathing and swimming attire in the passive recreation areas. Number 7, there should be no blocking of the tower bridges by any furniture, equipment, or crowds of people. There should be no placement of furniture, including but not limited to lounges and chairs on the tower bridges. Number 8, there shall be no drawing or painting of graffiti or any other type of form of drawing or message in or on the passive recreation areas, except that the residents under the age of 12 may draw or write with chalk in the areas designated for such activity. Number 9, there should be no grilling unless in connection with an event approved and sanctioned by the resolution of the board in the passive recreation areas. There should be no receptions or parties consisting of more than 10 persons in the passive recreation areas unless in connection with an event approved and sanctioned by resolution of the board. It shall be the responsibility of the residents organizing a permitted party or reception to clean up all trash and debris from the reception or party by placing it in designated receptacles or removing the trash and debris from the passive recreation areas. Number 10, there should be no bicycling, placement or igniting of fireworks or placement of tents in the passive recreation areas. And number 11, there should be no consumption, handling of containers, or storage of containers of alcoholic beverages, beer or wine in the passive recreation areas.
Is there a second?
I second.
Is there discussion?
Yeah, we have discussed this before, but tonight a change was made from 10 years of age. The old mini park rules were really 7 years old, where you would need supervision. I think 12 is too old. I know we were trying to keep it, we thought about keeping it the same as the spa rules, but I think you shouldn't need to be 12 years old. The second thing is, we also discussed this, but graffiti any place on the property is wrong. That'll lead to further vandalism, sloppiness of the property, and I think by accepting graffiti anywhere, we're going in the wrong direction and down the wrong road.
Any other discussion? Yes, Richard.
I was the one who said we should be 12, so I'll take responsibility for that. Okay, the reality is that children are children, and this is our home, and there is a line that has to be drawn between making sure that we're giving our parents and our families an opportunity to enjoy themselves and respecting the rights of others and our neighbors. So just looking at what is being done in Hoboken and the kinds of age limits that are being enforced in parks and other venues, I felt that 12 seems to be the number, and that's why we went that way.
Yes, Joe.
I just want to say I think I'm happy that the board is starting to consider looking at options with parents with young kids to actually enjoy the property. I think there's a lot of prime real estate here that isn't used to its fullest capacity, and hopefully that'll entice some young parents with kids to come here and see that there are things for their kids to do and enjoy on the property as well.
I remember that we decided to make it consistent with the age of the students that saying students because of college. Yeah, consistent with the age of children that they in the spa they have to be basically with their parents. So what is the age of the spa? 12.
Yeah, and I did want to say that there is a which we have to revisit, where there is a designated area for children's activities to be assigned where they could do the chalk drawings and stuff in a specific area of the park. So that does need to be defined. That has not been defined yet. So, yes.
Yeah, wait, I just wanted to touch base and let the homeowners know that this is something else that we went over, and we did, what this reading is actually us making it a lot more friendly to children in the mini park, and we want to have that sense of family. As a board, we want that sense of family in the galaxy, and I believe on someone's note about the chalk, calling it graffiti, I don't know a kid that didn't grow up writing chalk on the sidewalk, and to take that away from the children in the galaxy would be a shame. It was one of the favorite things that I did while I was a child, was writing chalk on the sidewalk. And seeing the chalk on the sidewalk brings you back to when you were a child, and we should all, let children write some chalk on the concrete.
Richard,
Okay, on the issue of the chalk, there's, I guess, mixed feelings, because I grew up and, everything I did, I had to get permission from my mother and father up to the age of 21. Anyway, but that being said, we tried to draw a balance between giving children an all-out right to chalk up the area and putting the onus on the parents to supervise their children. And we created a specific area as a compromise, which I think the parents are going to have to make sure that they're on top of their kids, and the big brothers and the big sisters as well. But I think I agree with Justin that we all agree together as a team. This board works well together. I got to say that, and we all came up with a good compromise.
Richard Miller.
The other thing is, this board right now may know what passive recreation area is, but I think we should really call it what it was previously called, because this is amending Policy Resolution 15, which was mini park rules. Mini park should be in the title, because then if security is called and they have to look up rules, they're not going to know what passive recreation area is. It doesn't say exactly what. You have spa rules, you don't call it exercise in water areas. It should be called mini park and tower bridge area.
Go ahead, Justin.
I just want to touch base on two things. The chalk actually also does two things. The chalk lets the kids play, and then when the sprinklers come on, the rain comes down and washes it away. It adds calcium to the ground and helps the grass be a little bit greener. And I believe we also did address in the working sessions about the rules that we are going to clearly post all the rules with new signage throughout the facility, so that we shouldn't have that problem going forward.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to bring that up. That has been a discussion in the open meeting, in the closed working sessions and meetings. I find that the property is not well posted with rules. It lends to people feeling that they need to go find somebody to tell somebody what the rules are, or they're not clearly posted. So I do think it's important that we clearly post them so security as well as the residents are well aware of what the activities and what's expected of them behavior-wise while they're in certain common areas on the facility. I do think that some of the temporary signage that's been put up recently are not in the best interest and need to be, so we will not move forward in that vein, but they will be redeveloped and made into more permanent restaurant or resort type signage so that it's much more park-like, not so temporary sign-like. But I'm sorry, I just want to make a point, Richard, that if you guys want to change, somebody needs to make a motion to amend the motion.
I want to make a motion to amend the title of this to mini park and tower bridge rules, and rather than passive recreation area.
Okay. The motion's been made and seconded to change this to the mini park and tower bridge, and seconded. All those in.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we'll just.
Okay. John, is there any ramifications for changing the name of this policy resolution?
Not for purposes of the text. In the text, I refer to them collectively as passive recreation areas, but if you change the title for convenience, for identification, I don't see any problem at all.
Great.
Wait.
Yes, Richard.
It already says in the text here, under some of the whereas, it already has mini park and tower bridges. It mentions it a number of times.
Right, so John said there is no problem, we don't have any problem making the change. All those in favor of changing the title, raise your hand and say aye. That's 4 in favor, 6 in favor. Those opposed? Abstentions?
7 in favor.
That was a motion to amend.
That's a motion to amend, correct?
Now we
So
have
the
a
motion to
motion.
amend has passed. Mary, did you get the vote?
I did, thank you.
Perfect. So now we're going to vote on the motion as amended. So now we're voting on the amended motion with the amendment. So those in favor of the amended motion, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Unanimously passed.
Doesn't this have to go out to public consumption?
No, I'm sorry. This is not open from the floor, so we can take questions later. That's not an AR.
Policy has to go
motion.
out, not an AR.
Information.
Go ahead, Richard.
It's a policy resolution that's
Correct.
being amended. Policy resolutions have to go out to the
This was the first reading.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So-
I apologize.
This was the first reading.
I apologize. So yes, so we'll take the second reading next month.
Motion,
I apologize.
motion to award a contract to Cliff.
For comment.
In the 30 days. No, right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
Motion to award a contract to Clef Concept Corporation of Branchburg, New Jersey to provide 240 French cleats and install 1,000 interior signs in the amount of $12,470 plus 10% for contingencies for a total contract of $13,717.
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded, just for a point of clarification, in the original contract for the hallway, this was not part of the contract, so it's not a change order, it's addition, it does not increase the budget of the overall, but since it was a significant number, I thought it important that we bring it out, that everybody knows that we are, it's still within budget, and it's still within the number that was originally approved for this item. Is there any discussion? Yes, Richard.
Yeah, so since I'm just seeing this final version, I'm not sure we even saw it before. I see on one of the contractors here, there's general conditions, overhead, and profit. I don't see it on the others. Was that discussed when you met with, when management met with the contractors?
That was
It's in-
his Dorothy question, but
Yes. It's all included.
it was all included, it just has to do with the way it was written. And we did determine this by low bid, but the specs for the specs were applied to execute the contract were the same for all 3 bidders. Is there any other, yes, sir?
Yeah, how long will it take to install these?
Well, there's 2 parts. I can answer that only because I know a little bit about it. There's 2 parts to it. One is the delivery of these signs, and the other part is the installation. So they're anticipating now to be done in 6 weeks. That was the last of the delivery we heard from them, but if there's a delay, it'll take a little bit longer. But they were good just
6 weeks.
correct.
One thing. In the meantime, just a point of information, a lot of the temporary paper signs in the hallways are falling down. I know they're only taped up there, but a lot of them are on the floor, still on the floor, and no one's picked them up, and some have disappeared. So it might be a good idea to go through, have security go through or somebody, and see which ones have to be replaced.
Sure. Can you can you have Lawrence look at that? Great, thanks. Anything else? So the motion was made and seconded. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passed, Mayor. You got the vote? Did you miss someone?
I did.
Who?
Sorry, Mr. Miller. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so the motion passed unanimously.
Motion to ratify a prior email vote. Motion to award a contract to replace the existing condenser unit located on the 16th floor garage level with a new unit which consists of 2 compressors, new controls, new expansion valves and a coil, and the newest refrigerant R41410A. All lines will be flush with the R11 and new package unit installed.
The motion's been made and seconded. This was an email vote. Let's see. So the motion was made and seconded. All those, this was sent out as an email vote. This is ratification of an earlier vote. So all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
What's the cost? How much
It was passed. The motion passed.
17,000.
The total was, I'm sorry, Dorothy, 17,000. What was it? 17,000 what?
Even.
$17,000. The next item on the agenda, I'm sorry, Richard. Did you? Okay. The next item on the agenda is the various committees approve and appoint the members and the chairs for various committees. That's item 5.5. Justin, do you have the motion?
I make a motion to approve and appoint chairs and members to the various committees.
I second.
The motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yes, committees are a very important part of the Galaxy culture. And over the last several decades, I've been here 14, 15 years, there's been a plethora of hundreds of documents associated with different ARs, different committee chairpersons, different boards, resulting in a great deal of contradictory rules, expectations, which in the end create a great deal of confusion and acrimony because of misunderstood expectations and poor communications. I see this board as a board that is working towards formalizing relationships, not having any guesswork in terms of what the rules are, and not having any guesswork on how we should communicate and choose people to be on boards. That being said, I think that we should table this so that we could clarify all the confusion associated with contradictory expectations and move to improve communications and clarify the relationships and expectations between the board and different committees.
So is there any other discussion? So, Richard, you need to make a motion.
I make a motion to table this agenda item until the next meeting.
The motion's been made and seconded. The motion's been made and seconded to table the discussion. All those in favor of tabling this item, please raise your hand and say aye. All those opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries to table this. This will be tabled till the August meeting. The next item on the agenda is the reinstatement of the Government Affairs Committee. Justin, do you have that?
Motion to approve the reinstatement of the Governmental Affairs Committee Chair and members.
There's a motion made and seconded to approve and reinstate the Government Affairs Committee. Is there discussion?
For the same issues that I raised in the last agenda item, I would like to make the motion to table this.
The motion's been made to table. Is there a second?
I second.
The motion's been made and seconded to table this decision. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries to table this. So items 5.5 and 5.6 have been tabled until the August meeting.
Employee picnic.
I'm sorry, the next item on the agenda is item 5.7, the employee picnic.
Motion to approve an employee picnic to acknowledge staff for their hard work and dedication within the organization. The picnic will be held on Saturday, August 12, 2017, between the hours of 1 and 5 p.m. We welcome all employees and their immediate families to the event, which will take place in the South Lawn and the mini park. The South Lawn will be utilized as a barbecue area with a DJ, food catering, and drinks. The mini park will be utilized for kids and includes attractions, bouncy houses, face painting, carnival games, music, etc. There will be approximately 350 to 400 people in total attending this event. Due to the magnitude of this event, both the South Lawn and mini park will be closed to residents between the hours of 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. while the employee picnic is in progress.
I second.
The motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? I do have something I'd like to discuss before. I think it's a great idea, number one, but I think it's also very significant that residents realize this is, at this point, there's no cost to the association for this. This is being sponsored by various vendors and some of our company people. So currently there's no cost to the Galaxy Association for this appreciation picnic. Yes, sir.
I appreciate there's no cost to the Galaxy. Does this include Galaxy residents also, or just employees?
This is an employee picnic.
Okay. Maybe a worthy cause, but this is the owner's property for us to enjoy. The mini park, people wait the whole year to sit out in the mini park and enjoy themselves. You're taking the middle of August, closing the mini park from 1 to 5. I just think it's not right. This is our property, the owners to enjoy.
Not all the owners be lovely.
Any other discussion?
I believe our staff, they're working very hard during the year. They do deserve to have a party, and we all have to appreciate their effort and hard work. I don't see any problem that for 5 hours a year, we deprive ourselves from mini park.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Richard.
Okay, I ran hospitals for about 25 years, and hospitals belong to, the hospitals that I ran were city hospitals. They belong to the city. But we always took one day a year to say thank you for the simple things that our employees do for us. To say thank you is something that should be part of our culture. And I believe that if you have a good heart and you see how hard these people work, remember when these winter storms come, they're the ones who are shoveling. When we have these terrible rains and things seem like they're at a halt, these are the people that come over and work at night under the rain, under storms. So I don't think it's unfair to spend a little time to say thank you.
I'm sorry, and I think it's important. I think it's important that we do it. It's a very short window. I do see the mini park all the time. There's a small number of residents that it will affect. This is not going to affect less than 1% of the population. So I think it's important that the employees realize that we appreciate them too, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's important that we show that appreciation. Yes, Richard?
It may be a good cause, but I still don't think in the summer. You want to do it in the fall, that's another thing. But everybody waits all year for the summer, my opinion.
And the facilities are always
For sure, residents feel both ways.
And the facilities are always empty,
I'd like to
used by the
amend the
same
motion.
I'm sorry, 1
complainers.
second. Can you
Same
please refrain
complainers.
from?
Using the
Yes,
facilities.
I'd like to amend the motion, and I'd like to amend the motion to have it exactly the way it is, but I'd like to change the title and call it the annual Galaxy.
Yeah.
Recurring annual.
The annual Galaxy.
Okay, so there's a motion to amend.
Annual Galaxy Workers Picnic.
Okay, so there's a motion to amend the motion. All those in favor of amending the motion, raise your hand or say aye. All those opposed? One opposition. So it's amended to the annual. And that being said, if there's anything new that someone has to say that hasn't been said, or somebody who hasn't spoken yet, please. Chad.
I just want to say that, there's been criticism of our employees, but I also think they work hard. I think everybody wants them to know their names when they come in and be more like a family environment, and I think one day is a great thing to try to change the culture around here and the reputation of the building. I think we have a reputation out there that it's a difficult place to work, it's challenging with some of the residents.
And Edgewater, everything that involved.
I'm sorry, so.
I think this is just the start of trying to change the culture around here, make it positive, and let the employees know we appreciate them.
I'd like to echo what Joe said. I think it's a great thing to show a very small amount of appreciation to the employees that work for us. They're our employees, and a little bit of consideration towards the employees goes a long way, especially when you're a worker. I've been a worker my whole life. I know how it feels. When you're not appreciated, it doesn't feel good to go to work. When you're appreciated, it makes you feel a little bit better. And I think this is a great thing going forward.
Thank you.
I call the question.
The question has been called. Is it second?
A second.
The question has been called. Is second. If there's no one, everyone's had the opportunity to speak, so we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? No abstentions. The motion is passed. Motion carried. The last item on is any other new business. So if anybody has any new business that was not discussed previously, please bring it to the table now. Yes, Justin.
I'd like to appoint Judy Corcoran as chairman of the garage committee.
We tabled every other committee, so we should table that in my opinion. But the motion was made. Is there a second? There is no second. Richie made the second. The motion was made and seconded.
And now, I just wanted to discuss this, the garage committee fell apart, and this was supposed to be on the agenda for the last meeting, and the meeting before that, we just slipped through the fingers. I just wanted to try to get that committee going before we finish up the garage renovations. But that's all I got.
Okay, the motion was made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Yes, Richard.
Justin, I really, I know where you're at with this, and it's important, but it would be unfair for us to make an exception. And I believe that we don't have to take
A motion to table.
Okay, the motion was made to table.
Okay, thank you very
second.
much.
So, all those in favor of tabling the motion? Opposed? The motion is tabled.
I make a motion to adjourn.
The motion been made to adjourn.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye. All those opposed, the meeting's adjourned. Now, we do have two owners who've asked to address the board. So the first to address the board tonight is going to be it's Melinda Bickerman.
She's in the ladies' room, she's coming down.